Hello and welcome back to Sunbreak, and welcome to Update 4, Dual Blades Update 4 in specific. This has introduced, as you can see, a new element weapon of choice, a vital new armor skill for our element builds, and some very impressive synergy and playstyle preferences to consider. As you can see though, the new build is very strong and effective. 4 of these element builds are going to be very similar to one another, working much the same with great effect, whereas one of them is going to have that important aspect that some people might not enjoy. I want to say a quick thank you as well to Josh for working out all the details of our Update 4 build. He's the one that went over the builds and the skills and helped me put this together. As you may have guessed if you've been playing the update at all, Dragon Conversion is the all-new and all-important skill that we will be working into our build and playing around. Because this ability, this skill, allows us to get over 30 element. That's obviously really good. That's a massive increase. Because we're going to be running that in our Update 4 builds then, it's very important that you understand how it works, so a very fast rundown of that is this. While in Blue Scroll, you will have increased resistances, element resistances specifically, which you can see down there on the right. By attacking continually after hitting a certain amount of attacks, we will get this sort of sheen sound effect. There it is, and we will have that icon there above our health bar that shows we've now got increased resistances. That has given us a nice healthy sum, getting us to resistance caps of 50 like on the dragon resistance, or almost there with water and ice. That element resistance will then be converted to element attack when I swap to red scroll. So now all of my resistances are down to 0, but my ice element has shot up. It's 135 when I do that, whereas when I take that off, we go back down to 92. So it's a major increase. To play with these builds then, it's very simple. Play in Blue Scroll and attack until you get that element buff, and then swap to Red Scroll and play from there on, enjoying your improved element damage. Interestingly, because of Dragon Conversion, we actually might want to change what we're eating, especially with this build. Previously, things like Booster, Weakener, and maybe Polisher were great picks because of the convenience of them. But now, eating for fire resistance will increase the damage we get by converting it to element damage. By using Hopping Skewers, we can improve the fire resistance all the way to plus 20, which is an extra 5 element attack while that's active. Well worth considering in your new meals. So we have different sets based on what element we're working on. For our ice set, we're wearing entirely new armor pieces in Update 4. We have Risen Valstrax, helm, chest, gloves, and waist. And then of course we have the Velkhana boots. This nets us these skills currently, which is very nice, but we're going to need to decorate for a little bit more than that. Now our complete build has 7 critical eye, the full ice attack, we have attack boost 4, latent power, which is really nice, the full crit boost, weakness exploit, critical element, even a bit of convenience and stamina surge, 3 resistances in water, ice, and dragon, which is important for Dragon Conversion. We have 3 out of 3 on. Then we can get in Kushala Blessing 2 out of 2, further improving our ice damage by 10%, bit of element exploit, and burst. It's a very stacked set of skills. To achieve that, I am using these decorations in this order. This is something that's been requested in these videos, that I show every decoration slot, so I'm going to do my best to do that for the sets. It's very important to know then that both my helmet and my chest piece have been augmented, but it's a very basic augment, literally giving them both 1 extra decoration slot. Just basic augmentation. Here is the talisman that I'm using for this set. It is a critical eye talisman that has that crit boost in the 2-slot decoration slot. What you will need then is a talisman of equal value or better. This is a +4 talisman, meaning it gives me +3 of a main skill that's required for the build, like critical eye, and then it has a 2 slot to give me 1 extra skill. You might find yourself with something similar, but say like 4 slots or better decoration slots. You might run a weakness exploit talisman that has better decoration slots than this as an example, but the idea is to reach the same ending stats as me long term. Now let's take a look at my water set. As you can see, we're using Valstrax pieces again, but there's a slight change. We have the Valstrax helm, chest, waist, and now boots, and our gloves have changed to the Golden Wrath gloves. Here is once again an overview of all of my decorations and what's in each slot, so you can recreate this in your own way, however possible. Next up is the fire set, which again has a slight change. We have the Risen Valstrax helm, chest, gloves, and waist again, but now the boots have changed to the Risen Teostra boots. Again, I've augmented this armor piece to give the second 1-slot decoration slot 1 extra size, which allows for a 2-slot, which I put crit element in. But from top to bottom, here is all of the decorations in this armor set to reach the skills that we need, so that you again can recreate it yourself. Lastly, we have the Thunder set. Again, Risen Valstrax pieces pieces in the helm, chest, gloves, and waist, but then we have the Toby Kadachi boots. Here are once again the decoration slots for you to recreate in your own way, in your own build, however necessary. And keep in mind that, as you can see, many of these pieces are completely unaugmented, meaning you could augment for skills that are necessary as part of this build, or better decoration slots like I've done on the chest and helm in many cases. So yeah, I hope this overview of what's actually in the decoration slots of each of the sets has been helpful. But now it's time for update 4 Dragon, which has changed in a noticeable way and is different to the other sets in mechanics as well, because we are running the Archfiend or Gaius armor for dereliction, because that is so unbelievably good for Dragon. This is due to Dragon Heart, which when your health reaches a certain point contracts Dragon Blight, meaning the only element damage we can deal would be Dragon element. So this only works for the Dragon element build. However, the benefit is all element resistances being set to 50. So that gives us a net total of 250 resistances immediately, meaning we could instantly swap to the red scroll and reach the maximum amount of element that we can get from this, which is 62.5. Also, at level 5 Dragon Heart, you're getting plus 10% attack power just by default, and it means we only need to be at 80% health or less. How can we consistently achieve that? Well, through dereliction, which drains your health over time. This will keep us nicely under 80% health to keep Dragon Heart and the Dragon buffs active the whole way. It seems very intentional by the devs that the dereliction skill is found on the gloves and the boots, which to get 3 out of 3 Dragon conversion requires the waist, chest, and helm, leaving, yes, the gloves and the boots free, perfect for the dereliction 3 out of 3. As you can see, while we're in blue scroll before the effect takes place, we're at 73 Dragon and we've got various resistances. The moment we go under 80%, now all my resistances have gone to 50. So my Dragon is currently at 87, right? Let's go ahead and swap to red scroll now, which will permanently be in from here on out. And we're up to 160 Dragon. That is absolutely ridiculous. That is such a massive increase to our element just on one skill alone. Don't forget, we're also now getting 10% increased attack power, which is incredible. Of course, as we let dereliction do its thing and get stronger, we're also going to get further buffs from that, and being in red scroll is buffed by that further. So it just synergizes perfectly. So finally, a quick overview of the Dragon set. We have the Risen Valstrax helmet, chest, and waist, just as I said, but now we have the Archfiend or Gaius gloves and boots. Lastly, we need attack boost in this set rather than crit eye, so I've got my best attack boost talisman on, which is a 3 attack boost with a 2 and a 1. You do not need something as good as this. You could have a 2 attack boost and then say 2 and a 2 slot or better, maybe a 3 attack boost and different decoration slots, but that's what I'm running to get the most attack boost possible. Here are the decoration slots for you to have a look at, including the Valstrax Soul decoration for the Rampage slot, increasing Dragon element attack by 20% when afflicted by Dragon Blight, which is how I got a further boost in that test. Pretty incredible to say that we don't have to worry about Bane in many cases with this. Anyway, here are the rest of my slots and what I've got in each of them. As you can see, most of them include that new Dragon Spirit decoration to get Dragon Heart 5 out of 5. On the other hand, we also should really mention Curious Armor Crafting in detail. What we are looking for in the slots that you haven't augmented yet are those key skills that we're missing 3 out of 3 on. In this case, we can see a clear example of Element Exploit and Burst missing their level 2 and 3, so you'd ideally using Armor Skill Plus to get those skills. We could also do with extra levels of attack boost, working our way to 7 as near as we can get. Those are the 5 armor sets and their explanations though. Now let's take a look at the weapons. We'll work our way down the list then. First starting with water, which remains the Almudron Dual Blades, just because they're just this classic, the really good option, very high water pick. For fire, we have the Flaming Espinas Dual Blades, which are incredible due to their stats, as well as that passive that means we actually have a chance to inflict poison just by using these in our fire set, an incredible perk. For thunder, we are still using the Nawa Dual Blades with a really high thunder and great stats, but awkward decoration slots. If those bother you, there is a very good alternative in the form of Zin Ogre. You do get a 2 slot on that, slightly worse stats, lower thunder, but definitely worth using if the Nawa ones bother you. For dragon, we're using the Valstrax still, with a great dragon element and really wide white sharpness. And lastly for ice, we have our new Velkhana weapons, which are awesome. 330 attack to begin with, purple sharpness, lower element at 22, and some fantastic, and I mean really good decoration slots, a 4 and a 1. This is going to be your top pick for when an enemy has lower ice element defense, meaning you can't benefit from, say, Element Bane. This is a really good pick for that, and remains a good example compared to Kushala Deora's option here, where things are just awkward when we come to element. It has higher ice element but lower stats across the board and worse slots. So this works to run Element Bane against something really weak, and I mean 30-35 hit zone weakness to ice. And we could say this for all of the dual blades. You want to run Element Bane and high element against something super weak to the element where you can maintain that DPS uptime, but it's often more comfy and functional not to have to worry about Element Bane, especially how many monsters don't have hit zones high enough. That's where something like Velkhana absolutely shines, and is what I will absolutely be using. Speaking of weapons then, it's time to look at our new augments, which are absolutely incredible in Update 4. As you can see, I've got 20 attack, 45 element, and 10 sharpness. Where's all that coming from? Well, in Update 4, they made some changes to anomaly slots and how they actually give you power. The more anomaly slots you have unlocked on a weapon, the more power you just get. By having our 9 augment slots, we are getting plus 15 raw attack, plus 15 element, and plus 10 sharpness. It's an incredible change. But then also we have 9 slots, which allows for level 7 on the element boost, getting us up to that 45, and then that leaves us with those couple of slots for a level 1 attack boost, giving us an extra 5 raw damage. It's a very smooth update for your augments, and that's what I'm running on each of them. Next up then is the math to show you how we've actually improved the element and raw in this build compared to the last patch. We'll be using the Velkhana Dual Blades as our example using our new ice build, and these have 330 raw to begin with, which will work out first. Our attack is getting a 5% increase from having 4 attack, so 330 times 1.04 is 343.2. Then we're getting raw increases from attack 4, that's plus 7. There's 1 level of burst when that's going at plus 10. From our new and improved weapon augment, we're getting plus 20 there, so that totals to 380.2 now. Further, we have a 39% damage increase from purple sharpness, so that's 380.2 times 1.39, bringing us up to 528.478. Lastly, we have our affinity, 50% from Wex, 40% from Crit I7, that's 90% affinity, and then we got 3 crit boost, so that's a 40% damage increase 90% of the time, so 36% increase on the damage. Let's add that to the math then, 528.478 times 1.36, bringing us finally to 718.73008. Let's round that up to 719. Amazing, 719 raw. Our old raw in Update 3 by comparison with the fire set was 690, so a nice increase there. Then we have the element math. The Velkhana starts with a low 22, but this will get really high. We have ice attack 5, so we're getting 20% increase by that. 22 times 1.2 is 26.4. Then we have the raw increases from ice attack 5, that's plus 4. Then there's element boost augment and 9 augment slots improving us to 45 extra element. We only have level 1 burst, that's plus 6 element when that's going. And then we have dragon conversion, which we should have up at all times, so that's 34 element there. Amassing those together, that is 115.4 element. Further, we have purple sharpness, that's a 25% element damage increase, so 115.4 times 1.25 is 144.25. Our 1 level of element exploit gives us a 10% increase, so 144.25 times 1.1 is 158.67. Next, we have our Kushala blessing, another 10% increase, so 158.675 times 1.1 is 174.5425. Lastly, again the affinity, we have 90% affinity with 3 crit element, so 15% improved element damage 90% of the time. That's a 13.5% increase, so 174.5425 times 1.135 is 198.105735. Let's round that down to 198. So 198 element, that's another increase. Our old element with the Update 3 fire set was 152. Therefore, our final numbers with this set, with the Velkhana Ice Dual Blades, our raw attack is 719 and our element attack is 198. And we're not even working in active modifiers like, say, demon mode being active, which should be active all the time, which is what's pushing our numbers in actual combat even higher. But there you have it. That is the complete build guide for Update 4 of Dual Blades. We hope that you enjoyed this and got good benefit from it. I hope I included all the information you need to work out your own version of these builds or one-for-one copy them. It's been a big increase to both the raw and element in this patch. And those, like the weapon augments, that was crazy. That's such a big buff to everyone just by default. But cool new skills like Dragon Conversion, working with Dragon Heart in perfect unison. As much as Dereliction is an annoying thing for some people, it is very, very powerful and we can't really ignore it in that case. If you have enjoyed this build video, please do drop a like on it. They do take a lot of work. I hope you're enjoying Update 4 and the new and improved Dual Blades we're enjoying. For now then, I've been Hollow, you've been you. Thank you for watching and we'll see you next time.
Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world a stage. Goodbye.